at CGR, we love to celebrate anniversaries and birthdays and, just generally take note of icons, video game icons. And what is more iconic, we want to ask you, than frogs trying to cross the street? I mean, this is a common problem in the world, and it was brought to light, thankfully, 30 years ago when the game Frogger hit arcades in 1981. I mean, the object of Frogger is very simple. If you haven't played it, you really need to go check it out online. You direct your little froggies, which were like these little green pixelated round blips, across the street, and you avoid other pixelated blips, which signify cars or various vehicles. And Frogger is 30 years old. I mean, we're talking the golden age of video arcade games here. I mean, if you missed out on it 30 years ago, don't worry about it. Like I said, there are plenty of versions of the game available for download on a number of internet gaming websites. But in the interest of celebrating his 30-year anniversary, I guess Frogger is a he now, we're gonna talk about how the game went. You either alternate turns with another player or you go it alone as your Frogger. You're given an odd number of frogs, 3 to 7, and you guide them across the street. And then you go across a river, because there's always a river by this street, and you navigate them into their little froggy homes. In different versions, you have to navigate through, the usual cars, dune buggies, bulldozers, crocodiles, logs, just typical obstacles from everyday life. But it's not as simple as just navigating them across the river. Of course, there is always a catch. There are lots of ways to lose this very seemingly simple game. Like if you put your Frogger into a crocodile's home, I mean, forget it. This is the most heartbreaking loss in Frogger, as you thought you found your Frogger a home, and alas, there is no home to be found, just a giant crocodile that will eat you. Also, what was cool about Frogger was that it was like an early fusion of the great game developers Konami and the publishers Sega. It was like early courtship and beautiful game making. The Frogger games did not stop with that first initial arcade game, nor is it restricted to online versions of the game now. It's spawned, it's not a joke using the word spawned, numerous official sequels as well as unofficial sequels, and even a 1991 Sega game called Ribbit, which was pretty much Frogger on steroids, better graphics, same premise. And I mean, who could forget, this is huge pop culture, the Frogger Seinfeld episode. It aired in 1998, and the whole episode was dedicated to George trying to locate the Frogger machine on which he earned the high score in high school. His fictional score in the show, however, is like really impressive. No one except for the current Frogger high score holder in the world shows a record higher than George Costanza's score of 860,630 points. In Frogger terms, that is a lot of points. But if you think, in order of Frogger's birthday, you can log on to one of the numerous gaming sites and beat the score, be our guest and report back. We'd love to hear the war stories of you taking on those dune buggies. So from us at CGR, happy birthday, Frogger.